Hey everybody, it's David Bradley here from richmansgym.com, and this is the Rich Man's Gym Podcast, a personal development podcast dedicated to strength and conditioning for body, mind, and spirit. So if you, like me, are looking to level up and tap into that true potential of yours, my friends, you are in the right place. So thank you for being here. Let's get started. Ooh, hey, before I forget, listen, if you're getting something from the podcast, please, if you're getting value from it, make sure that you share this out into cyberspace. Give this to other people so that you're not the only one getting something from it. If it's helping you, it's going to help somebody else. So get that out there into cyberspace and share it. Also, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, thanks in advance for doing that. That way you don't miss an episode. Okay, now, you know what we got to do? We got to get a quick word in from the sponsor so we can pay for this sucker. Okay, so two quick words from our sponsors. Are you ready to finally stop smoking, but don't know where to start? This book, How to Stop Smoking Without Killing Anyone, is here to help. Written by a smoker, for a smoker, you will receive the step-by-step guidance and strategies you need to finally kick the habit before the habit leads to you kicking the bucket. Imagine yourself back in control of your health and your life. Visit StopDon'tQuit.com right now and start your journey back into the non-smoking section. That's StopDon'tQuit.com, StopDon'tQuit.com. If you're tired of only working for your money and are ready to get your money working for you, then check this out. This is the Transact Card, a first of its kind Visa bank card where you double your dollars on every transaction. Transact Card provides you with a system where your money finally works for you. The days of underwhelming 1 to 2% cash back are over. Are you ready to welcome in dollar for dollar rewards? Double your buying power and create financial momentum. Look, if you've been trying to save your way to wealth and that isn't working out the way you hope, maybe it's time to try spending your way to wealth instead. Learn more at whatistransactcard.com. That's whatistransactcard.com. Okay, quote of the week time. Quote of the week time. The quote of the week it's just 3 words. 3 simple words that actually I heard on a podcast. I had the privilege of actually listening to one of my coaching clients. They have a business called Mapbach, and they were on one of our business partner, Brandon Dawson. They were on his Building Billions podcast. It is definitely worth you pushing pause and taking 60 minutes to go listen to this and take a crap ton of notes. So they go very, very deep. The 2 owners of that business, Sean and Zach, they are both retired Navy SEALs, and now they are they're entrepreneurs, and they're working on a multi-million-dollar company that they're building. But the 3 words that I got from it that I wanted to share with you this week, it's an excellent way of making decisions, keeping your priorities in check, and just, hey, before you take action on something, it might make sense to check this priority list. It's mission, team, self. So whatever it is that you're doing, right? You're about to make a decision. Okay, how does this affect the mission? How does this affect the team? How does this affect me? Now, today's topic, what we're going to be talking about on the Rich Man's Gym podcast today is how to master your urges. So this is really going to be about self. You've already made some decisions about the mission and the team, and the final piece of the puzzle, you go last. But in order to make sure the best version of you is available for the mission and the team, you need the best version of you, which is self. So we're going to be talking about you today being in complete and total control of your urges, mission, team, self. The rest of the episode is going to be about self. So let me just ask you, have you ever felt like just punching somebody in the face? Like, here's one. Have you ever been talking to somebody and you're wondering, like, what would happen if I just kicked this person right in the crotch? Just me? No, I doubt it, right? It can't just be me. I'm not the only one that's ever thought about just punching somebody in the face for no good reason. It can't be, okay? So let's just take that down a notch. A little bit. What do you do when you're staring silently at your running shoes while your Xbox is singing and whispering sweet nothings in your ear? I know you've been there, or something like that. You're at the supermarket, and it keeps trying, the quart of ice cream, it keeps trying to jump into your cart. Does that ever happen? You ever had like a giant box of dark chocolate covered almonds just jump right on into your car. I don't know how that got there. You know, and how did you wind up in those aisles in the first place? So, like, if you are like me and you've lost the battle of sitting inside your car outside of a liquor store and you're trying not to go in and buy a pack of smokes or a bottle and you feel totally out of control, your brain is saying no. It's like when you're having a nightmare and you're like, don't go in there, but you do it anyway. You're out of control. If that's you, if you've been there, I have too. So I totally get this. So, and we're going to deep dive on it. And we want to look at like ways that you can master your urges, which is a topic which admittedly affects all of us at some point in our lives. So this is about us resisting temptation to indulge in something that's unhealthy or staying focused on our goals long enough to learn how to control the impulse. That's a value. It's a skill. It's a skill. And you can get better with it through training. So without further to do, let's explore some ways that we can master our urges. And so now there's two things that I want to stress right out of the gate. Two things I want to stress right out at the beginning. An urge is just that. Recognize it for what it is. It's an urge. It's not a command. And there's plenty of urges that you don't act on, right? We talked about that. You didn't punch that guy in the face. And the other thing is that whatever the urge is, it's yours. You own it. You have to own it. Like, why are you having it? When are you having it? All of that. The what, the why, the how, the where. 100% on you and all you, and it's all me and on me, because until we take ownership of it, way too easy to pass the buck and blame, put excuses, assign it to some terrible incident that happened in our past, all of that. Let's just define the word for a second, okay? You hit the dictionary, it says urge. There's the verb, which is to try earnestly to or persistently to persuade someone to do something. He urged her to come with us. That's the verb part. Right? Or you can urge someone to go see a movie. However, the noun, the thing, it's a strong desire or an impulse, like the urge for revenge, the urge to punch someone in the face, the urge to drink. It's a strong desire or impulse. And this word, it originated, it's Latin, and it means to press hard or push forward, force, drive, compel, stimulate, all of those things. So the bottom line here, what I want to stress first and foremost, what's most importantly, is having an urge and then acting on that urge. It is separated by one thing and one thing only, and that's a decision. So now what? Well, first thing is you got to recognize that you have a decision to make. You're feeling an urge and say, I have a decision to make. And then you also got to recognize that whatever decision you're about to make is going to produce a result, and that said result will have consequences. Consequence is a neutral word. It is the end result of something that happened. So I want you to ask yourself, the urge hits, you take a moment, you're like, all right, what is going to result from the decision I am about to make? What's in it for me? And what will be the consequence? What will the consequence be? And will that consequence be in my favor? Second thing is we need to identify the source. What's the source of the urge? Where's that coming from? Am I about to move towards a goal or away from a negative? Or am I simply about to replace one negative with another negative? And then which one is better for you overall? Sources, like where's the urge coming from? You know, the source could be one of 4 different misalignments. If you go do some research into psychology, you're going to find Abraham Maslow talks about 6 key human needs. And 4 of these key human needs, they have to happen for us. They must happen before the other 2 can even get even remotely considered. Here's the 4. It's certainty, it's variety, it's significance, and connection. Certainty, variety, significance, connection. And we need the 4. And if we don't get those needs met in a positive way, it's going to open us up to this by any means necessary, which is where we attempt to get those needs met. We may actually when we make an attempt to get the needs met, we could cause more harm than good, hurting others, hurting ourselves, both. And see, this is how certain groups of people, like narcissists, manipulators, politicians, they work this as well. They recognize that people need certainty, variety, significance, connection. They recognize they need all of those things, and then they exploit those needs to their gain with minimal regard to the consequences. Now, the other two needs are growth and contribution, which no one is even going to remotely consider until the first four get handled. Is that making sense? So like, and you got to get the first four handled in a positive way, because without the first four getting handled, you're literally in survival mode, and you're very susceptible to temptation. So there's no way you're going to consider growing or contributing when you're just trying to like survive. So let me just get back to the urge for a second. You have an urge. Let's say you have an urge to take down a large pizza, drink a 2-liter bottle of Coke, demolish a quart of Heavenly Hash ice cream while binge watching James Bond movies. Now, if it's the middle of summertime, you're 12 years old, and you were out riding your bike all day with your friends, because it's 1985 and that's how we rolled back then a caloric nightmare like that, probably completely acceptable. On the other hand, when you're 50, probably not the best idea. So what needs does this meet? Or better yet, what needs do you have that are not getting met? To the degree that pigging out would somehow make you feel better, but ultimately worse because, well, you know. So and then in the third thing to mastering your urges, especially when the battle is raging, right? You're like, "Ugh." You got to stay busy. Stay busy meeting your needs in positive ways. Because if you got a bunch of good things going on, you're never going to have time to digress into the not so healthy aspects of need meeting. The fourth and final thing is you need to make sure that the people around you are people who support you and who lift you up. You got to get around people that will inspire you, hold you accountable to your better self. And if you have people around you supporting negativity, supporting poor behaviors, create distance as quickly as humanly possible, immediately. So the final thought on this, mastering your urges, it's a process. It's going to take time. It's going to take practice. You will screw this up. I will screw this up. I have screwed it up. I will probably screw it up again. Be patient with yourself. Be gentle with yourself while holding yourself to a higher standard. Do not let yourself off the hook. When I say be patient and gentle with yourself, that doesn't mean let yourself off the hook. It means hold yourself to a higher standard, and it's okay to be mad at yourself when you screw up. However, I want you to celebrate even the smallest of victories along the way, and I want you to use those victories to build momentum, because with self-awareness, healthier alternatives, and a supportive network, you will be well on your way to staying in complete and total control of and mastering those urges and achieving your goals and your dreams. Okay, so how's this helping, right? Leave me a comment below. I would love to know what urge you have that you have complete and total control over. Is there an urge you're still working on? That's what I'd like to hear from you in comments. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for staying to the end. Feel free to drop a comment below. Love to hear from you about you and your battle with urges. What urges have you conquered? What urges are you still working on? Also, remember, subscribe and share. Thank you so much for listening. This is Rich Man's Gym, strength and conditioning for body, mind, and spirit. Train anywhere. I'll talk to you soon.